Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating areas of British coin collecting, the United Kingdom's 50 pence coins. These seven-sided pieces of history have been in circulation, and over the years, certain issues, conditions, and mint marks have made some of them far more valuable than their face value. In this video, we'll explore the top 5 most valuable UK 50p coins, looking at their different years, mint marks, and conditions to help you spot hidden treasures in your own collection. Let's get started. First up, the United Kingdom's 1983 50 pence coin, specifically in fine condition. While at first glance it may appear like just another piece of pocket change from the 1980s, the 1983 50 pence has a surprisingly interesting background and is tied to unique circumstances that make it a favourite among collectors. In this video, we'll discuss its history, standout features, rarity, auction value in dollars, and tips for anyone interested in collecting this coin. The 50 pence coin was first introduced in 1969, replacing the 10 shilling note as part of the UK's decimalisation efforts. It was larger and heavier than the modern version we see today, making it instantly recognisable. By the early 1980s, the design featuring Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse was well established. In 1983, the 50 pence coin continued with the standard Britannia reverse design created by Christopher Ironside, a design that had been in circulation since 1969. However, what makes the 1983 issue stand out is that it coincided with a change in the inscription on the obverse legend, reflecting Queen Elizabeth II's updated official title. This small detail gives the 1983 50 pence a special place in coin history. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin, which shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Around the edge is the updated inscription Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 1983. The reverse side carries the iconic image of Britannia seated beside a lion, holding a trident and olive branch, symbolizing Britain's strength and peace. The coin is struck in cupronickel, weighs 13.5 grams, and has a seven-sided equilateral curve heptagon shape that made it one of the most innovative coins of its time. These features make it not only a piece of currency but also a work of art that reflects British tradition and identity. Although millions of 50 pence coins were minted in the early 1980s, the 1983 issue holds a particular intrigue due to its limited availability in certain sets and the unique obverse lettering change. Collectors often hunt for it because it represents a transition in the coinage series. However, when it comes to rarity, condition plays a huge role. Coins in uncirculated or proof condition command the highest prices, while those in fine or even damaged condition are valued less. Still, even in fine condition, the 1983 50 pence is considered desirable because many coins from this period have been lost, heavily circulated, or melted down. Collectors with smaller budgets often seek damaged or fine-grade coins as entry points into the world of numismatics, keeping the demand steady even for lower condition examples. So, how much is a 1983 50 pence coin worth today in fine condition? In general, standard circulation strikes in fine condition are not overly rare, but they still fetch higher prices than their face value. On the collector's market, a fine condition coin typically ranges between $734,000 depending on the buyer and the demand at auction. Coins in better condition, such as very fine or extremely fine, can rise to $526,000, while uncirculated and proof versions may fetch significantly higher sums, sometimes over $421,000. Damaged coins, on the other hand, may only be worth $216,000, as their appeal is mostly for beginners or bulk collectors. Auction platforms like eBay and numismatic sales occasionally see bidding wars when a particularly well-preserved coin comes up, but for fine condition specifically, the values generally stay in the modest single-digit dollar range. For those interested in adding a 1983 50 pence coin to their collection, here are some practical tips. First, always pay attention to condition. While fine condition coins are affordable, upgrading to very fine or extremely fine coins can be a worthwhile investment in the long run. Second, look for coins that still have strong detail on Britannia's trident and the Queen's portrait, as these areas wear down first. Third, consider purchasing from reputable dealers or established auction houses to avoid counterfeits or misattributed coins. Finally, remember that value is not always about price. Sometimes, owning a historically significant coin, even in worn condition, can be more rewarding than chasing perfect examples. the 1983 United Kingdom 50 pence coin may not be the rarest or most expensive coin in British numismatics, but it carries with it a rich history, unique design features, and collector appeal. Even in fine condition, it holds more than just face value, making it a small but fascinating piece of Britain's coinage story. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your collection, this coin serves as a reminder that every year and every strike has its own tale to tell. Next up, the United Kingdom 50 pence coin from 1979 in circulation condition. While it might seem like just another everyday coin at first glance, the 1979 50 pence has its own history, features, and market appeal. We'll discuss its background, design, rarity, current market value in US dollars, and share essential tips for collectors who may be looking to add this coin to their collection. The 50 pence coin was first introduced in 1969 to replace the old 10 shilling note, making it one of the earliest decimal coins in the United Kingdom. By 1979, the coin was already well established in everyday use. That year, millions of 50p coins were struck at the Royal Mint in London to meet circulation needs. The 1979 issue belonged to the original, larger-sized 50p series, which was eventually reduced in size in 1997 to its current dimensions. This coin is a perfect snapshot of late 1970s British currency before the smaller and lighter version came into effect. The 1979 50 pence coin carries a classic design. On the obverse, it features Queen Elizabeth II portrait, designed by Arnold Machin, which was used on UK coins from 1968 until 1984. This portrait shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, one of her most recognizable images on coinage. On the reverse side, you'll find the iconic image of Britannia seated beside a lion, holding a trident and a shield bearing the Union flag, a design by Christopher Ironside that became synonymous with British 50p coins of the period. The coin is heptagonal with 7 sides and has a cupro-nickel composition. Its large size, weight, and distinctive shape make it immediately recognizable and nostalgic for many collectors. Now, let's address the big question: is the 1979 UK 50 pence coin rare? In general, the 1979 issue was produced in large numbers. Over 43 million coins were struck for circulation, meaning it is not considered rare in normal circulated condition. However, collector demand can still exist for this coin due to its historical context and its status as part of the larger-sized 50p series, which is no longer minted and in damaged or heavily worn condition. These coins usually attract little to no premium above their face value. However, collectors seeking to complete a set of large-sized 50p coins might still be willing to pay a small amount over face value for one in decent shape. Errors, misstrikes, or proof-like versions from sets can command higher prices, but those are exceptions rather than the rule. For the 1979 UK 50 pence coin in average circulation condition, the market value tends to hover around $325,000, just slightly above its face value in UK currency. In uncirculated or near uncirculated condition, it can fetch anywhere from $20 depending on the buyer and the coin's eye appeal. Special mint sets or coins with error strikes could sell for considerably more at auction, sometimes in the $114,000 range if they are confirmed genuine errors and are highly sought after by collectors. If you're interested in collecting the 1979 50 pence coin, here are a few tips to keep in mind. First, look for the highest grade you can find. Coins with minimal wear, strong luster, and sharp details always perform better in the market. Second, check for any minting errors, such as off-center strikes or planchette flaws, which can significantly increase a coin's value. Third, store your coins properly to prevent further wear or corrosion. Even circulated coins benefit from careful handling. Finally, consider collecting the entire set of large-sized 50p coins from 1969 to 1997. Complete sets tend to attract greater interest and can be more valuable as a whole. The 1979 UK 50 pence coin may not be a rare treasure in everyday circulated condition, but it holds a special place in the history of British coinage. With its bold design, connection to pre-1997 large-size coinage, and nostalgic appeal, it's a must-have for collectors building a comprehensive British coin collection. While its value in dollars may not skyrocket for most examples, it's an affordable and historically significant coin that's well worth adding to your collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 50 pence coin from 1982 in fine condition. While many might overlook this coin as just another piece of small change, it holds an interesting place in the history of UK currency. Collectors are always curious about the rarity, unique design features, and potential value of such coins in the international auction market. In this video, we'll explore everything you need to know about the 1982 UK 50 pence coin, including its background, collector demand, and current market value in dollars. The 50 pence coin was first introduced in 1969 as part of the decimalisation of British currency. Its distinctive seven-sided shape made it stand out from other coins, and over the years, it has become an iconic piece of British money. The 1982 edition is especially notable because it was one of the last issues of the large-sized 50 pence coin, which measured 30 millimeters in diameter and was much bigger than the version we use today. In 1997, the UK government reduced the size of the 50p to make it more practical for everyday use. This makes the earlier large-sized coins, such as the 1982 edition, historically significant and attractive to collectors who specialise in pre-1997 British coinage. The 1982 50p coin features a design that combines simplicity with national symbolism. On the obverse side, we see the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait was widely used on UK coinage during that era and is instantly recognisable to numismatists. The reverse side of the coin displays Christopher Ironside's classic design of Britannia seated beside a lion, holding a trident and shield, representing the strength, heritage, and maritime history of the United Kingdom. This design remained on the 50p for several decades before commemorative designs became more common. With its large size, sharp details, and symbolic imagery, the 1982 coin has a visual appeal that makes it stand out in any collection. In terms of rarity, the 1982 50 pence is not considered extremely scarce compared to some era coins or special commemorative editions. Millions of these coins were minted for circulation. However, their desirability among collectors comes from two main factors. First, their status as part of the large-sized 50p series, which ended in the 1990s, and second, the overall historical and aesthetic value of Britannia coins. Even coins in damaged or worn condition tend to generate collector interest, especially for those who are building typesets or want to own a representative example of British pre-1997 coinage. While pristine, uncirculated coins fetch higher premiums, even coins in fine or slightly damaged condition can attract bids in the auction market because of their vintage appeal and diminishing supply as more are removed from circulation. Now let's talk about money. What is a 1982 United Kingdom 50 pence coin worth today in the collector's market? In fine condition, this coin typically sells in the range of $634,000 when auctioned online or through coin dealers. Coins in better preserved states, such as very fine or extremely fine condition, may reach $414,000, while uncirculated examples can sometimes be valued at $225,000 depending on the demand. Damaged or heavily circulated coins generally fetch lower amounts, often closer to the $122,000 mark, but they are still of interest to new collectors and casual hobbyists. While it is not among the rarest or most expensive UK coins, its market activity proves that there is a steady demand for large-size 50p coins, especially in international auctions where buyers value historical pieces of British currency. If you are looking to add a 1982 50 pence to your collection, here are some useful tips. First, pay attention to condition. Coins that retain clear details of Britannia and the Queen's portrait are always worth more than worn examples. Second, consider building a set of large-size 50p coins issued between 1969 and 1997, as these sets are popular and can gain significant value over time. Third, always be cautious of overpaying. While the coin has collector interest, its value remains modest unless you have an uncirculated or proof specimen. Finally, make sure to store your coin properly, using protective flips or capsules to avoid scratches and further wear, ensuring it holds its market value in the future. The 1982 United Kingdom 50 pence coin may not be the rarest piece of British currency, but it certainly holds a special place in numismatic history. As part of the larger-sized pre-1997 series, it represents an era of design and circulation that has since disappeared from modern coinage. With its elegant Britannia design, steady collector demand, and modest but consistent market value, it is a worthwhile addition to any coin collection. Whether you own one in fine condition or are on the lookout for a higher grade example, this coin is a reminder of the lasting legacy of British coinage and the enduring interest of collectors worldwide. Next up, the United Kingdom's 50 pence coin from the year 1980. While many people might consider it just another piece of change from the late 20th century, the truth is that even coins from relatively recent years can hold significant historical value and collector interest, depending on their condition, demand, and unique features. In this video, we'll explore the 1980 50 pence in very fine condition, discussing its background, its standout characteristics, the degree of rarity it holds, how collectors view it even in damaged form, its auction market value in US dollars, and finally, some tips for those who wish to add it to their collections. The 50 pence coin was first introduced in 1969, just before the United Kingdom officially switched over to decimal currency in 1971. At that time, the 50 pence replaced the older 10-shilling banknote, offering a convenient and durable coin alternative. By 1980, the 50 pence was still in its original larger size and heptagonal shape, measuring 30 millimeters across. This design was instantly recognizable and distinct among world coins, which helped the 50 pence quickly gain its own reputation as a modern collectible. The 1980 issue came at a time when the Royal Mint was continuing regular production of these coins for circulation, yet it still carries historical importance as part of the early decades of decimal coinage in Britain. The obverse of the 1980 50 pence coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by the sculptor Arnold Machin. This portrait had been in use on UK coins since 1968 and remained a familiar image to the public for nearly 2 decades. On the reverse, the coin carries the design by Christopher Ironside, showing Britannia seated beside a lion, holding her trident and shield. This classical image symbolizes British strength and tradition, linking modern decimal coinage with centuries of history. Another striking feature is the 7-sided equilateral curve heptagon, a unique engineering feat that allows the coin to be easily identified both by touch and machine recognition. For collectors, these features are not only artistic but also symbolic of Britain's cultural continuity through changing times. Now, you might be wondering how rare is the 1980 50 pence coin? In terms of mintage numbers, the coin is not exceptionally scarce, as millions were struck for circulation. However, true collector demand often comes down to condition and survival rates. Coins from 1980 are now over 40 years old, and many that remain in circulation are heavily worn, scratched, or otherwise damaged. Even in a damaged condition, there is still a collector demand for these coins, especially from beginners or international collectors who are simply looking to complete a date run of 50 pence coins. While serious collectors prefer higher grades such as very fine, extremely fine, or even uncirculated, those in damaged or poor condition still have a niche appeal as entry-level collectibles or teaching examples. This means that even coins that might look ordinary to the untrained eye can carry a bit of extra value to the right buyer. When it comes to value, the 1980 50 pence in very fine condition is modestly priced compared to scarcer commemorative issues. In today's collector market, a very fine example typically trades between $526,000, depending on the buyer and seller. In damaged or heavily circulated condition, the coin may sell for only around its face value equivalent, roughly $321,000, though sometimes collectors overseas are willing to pay slightly more for the date. However, if you find one in higher grades such as extremely fine or uncirculated, the value can increase significantly, with some examples fetching closer to $326,000 at auction or through private sales. While it isn't a high-dollar rarity, it is a steady and respected piece in any decimal collection, and its price reflects its availability while still rewarding those who hold well-preserved examples. If you're looking to add the 1980 50 pence to your collection, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, always assess the coin's condition carefully. Look for details such as the sharpness of Britannia's shield, the clarity of Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, and whether the coin still has some of its original mint luster. These factors make a big difference in grading and value. Second, try to buy from trusted sources, dealers, auction houses, or reputable online sellers so that you avoid cleaned or counterfeit coins. Third, keep in mind that while the 1980 50 pence is not rare, it is a great foundational piece for building a broader set of 50 pence coins from different years. Finally, proper storage is key. Use coin holders, flips, or albums that protect the coin from scratches and environmental damage. This will help preserve its condition and ensure that your investment holds its value over time. In conclusion, the 1980 United Kingdom 50 pence in very fine condition may not be a record-breaking rarity, but it is still a fascinating coin with historical charm and a steady place in the collector's market. From its origins in the early years of decimalization to its iconic Britannia design, it embodies both tradition and modernity. While not worth a fortune, it commands fair collector interest, particularly in higher grades, and remains a cornerstone for those building a complete 50p collection. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just starting out, the 1980 50p is a coin worth appreciating, studying, and carefully preserving. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on rare and valuable coins from around the world.